With rain and snow melt expected this week, area communities are getting ready for possible flooding.
And part of a planned training at a Jefferson County school is raising legal concerns over its religious connection.
Plus, there's a push to help bring safer and cleaner drinking water to schools across Wisconsin.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us. Parts of southern Wisconsin are under a flood watch right now.
We are already getting reports of flooding in some communities. A News 3 Now viewer sent us these photos from Richland County. Let's check your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi.
Well, any additional rainfall is going to continue to cause problems. We're not expecting a lot of rain, but again, with the snow melt, that could lead to more flooding problems. And we do have alert days in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow for showers and isolated thunderstorms that could bring the potential for some localized flooding, as well as strong winds on tomorrow afternoon. There is a wind advisory for areas south and east of Dane County. You can see on Doppler track some showers rapidly moving northward, mainly through the western parts of our viewing area, west of Dane County, over toward Lone Rock, Richland Center, and eventually heading up toward areas west of Wisconsin Dells. A flood watch is in effect for all of southern Wisconsin through 7 a.m. Friday morning, and a wind advisory is in effect from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. Thursday for areas south and east of Dane County. Low temperatures this morning started out above freezing, so we just continued to melt the snow. We're at our high temperature for the day of 47 right now in Madison, but temperatures are in the 50s just to our south. We should be around 50 by tomorrow morning with showers, maybe some isolated thunderstorms. Look for a high tomorrow of 59 degrees before a cold front moves through late in the afternoon. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
And Gary, thank you. With the snow continuing to melt, rain on the way as well. People across Sauk County are bracing for that flooding. Rose Schmidt joins us live in Baraboo to explain how you can prepare and what you need to know. Rose?
Yes, well, Eric, right now we are seeing quite a lot of slush and melting snow throughout this entire county. You may remember back in August, basements filled up and homes throughout the area flooded, but I am happy to tell you that right now, emergency management says it's not expecting any major damage to homes or structures throughout the entire county. Sandbagging is the best defense if you're starting to see water creep up to your home like Brian Phillip.
With all the water melting and ice and everything else, there's nowhere for it to go.
But he's hoping the sand from the West Baraboo garage will divert the water away from his basement.
Yeah, it has helped. My sump pump went from every 5 minutes to every 25 minutes.
West of Baraboo in Rock Springs,
the water might get probably about this high.
Stephen Stotts is taking things out of the old Rock Springs bank that were left from a previous owner, preparing for flooding.
I thought, you got to be kidding me. You know, it's supposed to be like 10 years, before we got to do this again. But again, not a big deal.
He says luckily when it flooded last year, it only took a few hours to clean up. But this week impacts are supposed to be much less severe than 6 months ago, with the Baraboo River expected to crest 3.5 feet lower than in August.
We are anticipating possibly surface flooding, meaning from the runoff of snow and water coming into people's homes. We're getting reports of that coming through basement windows or patio doors.
Emergency Management Director Jeff Jelnick says you can expect to see water over roads in Laval and Rock Springs.
But it really should not be much impact to homes and structures.
That, of course, depends on Mother Nature.
We're not anticipating any major issues if the forecast stays the same. So this is the big thing, and I can't stress this enough. We're going to continue to monitor because of heavy rain. It could definitely change things.
In the meantime, he encourages people to do what Brian did, grab a shovel and fill some sandbags.
Good times.
Now, if you need sandbags, you can pick them up at the Reedsburg High School or here in Baraboo at the West Baraboo Garage. That's directly across from Festival Foods. You can also pick up water cleanup kits at the courthouse here in Baraboo. Back to you.
All right, Rose Schmidt live tonight in Baraboo. Rose, thank you.
Street crews in Madison hope you can help them prevent street flooding this week. They're working to keep up with the 20,000 inlets across the city and hoping residents can help clear inlets crews can't get to, but only if they can do so safely. And a reminder, people should avoid flooded streets because you never know what condition the road is in underneath the water. The rising water can cause your call to stall, damaging your car and leaving you in a tough situation.
And flooding already closing some roads in Lafayette and Rock counties. Here's a look at the roads impacted in Lafayette County. The river in Darlington, by the way, expected to crest at 14.9 feet The bridge there has to be closed once that river reaches 15 feet. Police are asking drivers in Janesville also to stay away from the intersection of North Wright and Ruger. We expect a list of road closures to grow overnight, and you can find an updated list online at our website, channel3000.com. And several counties are opening up sandbag stations, as you saw in Baraboo as well, for residents. Rock, Columbia, and Adams County all offering sandbags along with individual communities in those counties. Be sure to check with your municipality's website to see what the plans are regarding sandbags.
The Columbia County District Attorney is defending her office following 2 recent vacancies. An assistant district attorney and victim witness coordinator recently left the DA's office. Keely Arthur spoke with the district attorney today to find out why. Keely?
Well, Charlotte, these vacancies gained more attention yesterday when newly appointed district attorney Tristan Egan failed to show up to a county board of supervisors meeting where the DA's 2018 annual report was discussed. Egan said she simply did not have time to attend the meeting after one of the assistant district attorneys called in sick. The office is already short-staffed following the resignation of assistant DA Mary Ellen Karst. Egan says Karst retired and called the departure amicable. However, when questioned about the circumstances of victim witness coordinator Marnie Tom's departure, Egan hesitated to provide details, saying she was not Tom's supervisor.
Things that happen in this office are going to be professional. I try to conduct myself with the utmost decorum because that's what I would expect from anyone who fills the position.
No office parties or office drinking?
Only when we have a, how do I want to put it? When we have the ability to celebrate wins.
Egan said the office did celebrate the win in the Trent Hebel case. He was found guilty of poisoning his ex-girlfriend's dog. When asked if drinking was involved in the celebration, Egan would not confirm or deny that.
Do you think drinking in the office is an appropriate use of the space?
Again, I can't confirm that that ever happened.
Are you denying that it happened?
I'm not going to confirm or deny that anything like that ever happened.
We followed up with Egan later this afternoon to ask about any policies or restrictions on in-office drinking. She did not respond to that. Now, Egan says the county's Human Resource Office would have to provide any information on Tom. The Human Resources Director, Joseph Roof, is out of the office this week and could not confirm Karst's resignation or why Tom left the office. Charlotte?
Keely, thank you.
Republicans on a Senate committee are divided on whether to advance the nomination of the governor's pick to run the Department of Safety and Professional Services. Dawn Krim appeared before the committee today. She was asked about her qualifications to run the department and also about a felony child abuse charge in 2005 where she was accused of jabbing her then 5-year-old son in the hand with a pen. That charge was later dropped. She said she wanted to put that behind her. Committee Chair Chris Kapinga says he won't immediately schedule a vote and wants to review information about Krim he received just yesterday from the governor before moving forward. UW police have released body camera video of a student who is accused of hitting an officer inside a campus dorm. Police responded early Sunday to Whitty Hall for a man urinating in a hallway there. When police arrived, they say 18-year-old Logan Mitchell attacked the officer and punched him in the face. 2 officers were injured in the incident and taken to the hospital. Mitchell's facing 3 charges, including felony battery to an officer and felony resisting arrest.
A planned training course for the Fort Atkinson School District teachers and staff is raising legal concerns because of its religious ties. Next Friday, the district is offering an optional breakout session with a biblical perspective. Madeline O'Neill is here with more.
District officials say this professional development day focuses on 8 dimensions of wellness, one being spirituality. One of the voluntary breakout sessions will be Happiness is a Biblical Perspective on True Joy. That will be presented by a district teacher and elementary school principal. The option raises some red flags for a staff member with the Wisconsin Education Association Council who advised the district to seek legal advice. According to an attorney with the nonprofit group Freedom from Religion, the district, despite making the course optional, violates the Constitution by endorsing religion.
This is the school district presenting to their teachers a specifically Christian message about happiness and joy. It is simply religious development, and that is not an appropriate activity for a public school to be promoting.
Jane says if a teacher felt marginalized, they could sue the district. The superintendent says their own legal counsel is looking into those concerns. Parents and grandparents I spoke with today say they're not worried about the session.
That's a person's option, their choice to do it. If they want to do it, fine. If they don't want to do it, that's fine too.
A general education for them and all things that could help make them a better teacher is a good thing.
In a statement, the district superintendent says they, quote, encourage staff to consider the 8 areas of wellness for themselves so they can help students as part of the district's focus on social emotional development. Now, Freedom from Religion says they filed a complaint with the Fort Atkinson School District in 2017 against the same principal presenting the current session in question. They said at that point it was for having students over for religious teaching.
All right, Madeline O'Neill reporting tonight. Thank you, Maddie.
You're welcome.
A special grant is bringing water bottle filling stations to Wisconsin schools. During a stop in Madison today, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes focused on the governor's budget proposal that includes $5,000 in grant funding to the Department of Public Instruction. The filters will help control lead levels in Milwaukee water and nitrate levels in northern Wisconsin.
As some communities deal with flooding today, a local organization is getting ready to celebrate its recovery from last summer's flooding. Gilda's Club in Middleton saw $1 million in damage. About 7 months later, the club is now ready to reopen. The program's executive director stopped by News 3 Now this morning. You can watch the interview online at channel3000.com. And a Middleton nonprofit serving children with special needs and their families has won a national award. Geo's Garden was one of just 13 respite providers nationwide to receive the Innovative and Exemplary Respite Program designation from Arch National Respite Network and Resources Center. The respite services provided at Geo's Garden will be highlighted at the 2019 National LifeSpace Respite Conference in Buffalo, New York. Our congrats to my co-anchor Charlotte and her staff and the board, everybody out there. Congrats, that's a big honor.
It's a really big deal. Yay.
Very special.
Thank
so
you.
Incredible, the work you guys do.
A group of neighbors is meeting tonight to discuss ways to bring fresh food to their area.
Why they're worried about the South Side becoming a food desert. That's next on News 3 Now at 6. A South Madison grocery store is slated to close within a year, creating a potential food desert in that area.
Members of nearby neighborhoods will be meeting tonight to discuss the implications. Chris Lewinberg reports.
According to the city of Madison, the Pick and Save on South Park Street slated for demolition at the end of the year. leaving some community members concerned about access to healthy and convenient food options.
When it comes to getting food from farm to table, South Madisonians think that the Pick and Save's closing could take a bite.
Everybody that I've talked to about it has been concerned and feels like we should not have to lose a grocery store.
With the Pick and Save's fate all but sealed, the city of Madison is seeking proposals for a new grocery store development just next door. There's been one proposal, but disagreements over how much the city should contribute has kept it from moving forward, leaving community members worried.
People definitely have expressed a great deal of concern about the loss of a grocery store, that would be, again, an inconvenience, but also an issue of access.
City officials aren't confident that there will be a new grocery store in time.
I just don't know, again, how realistic it is at this point. And so trying to do what we can with what the realistic situation that we're faced with is where the city is looking into things.
The city has funds set aside for programs that would assist in transporting residents to farther grocery stores or with grocery delivery.
On the city's end, we're trying to be proactive about the strategies and solutions that we're looking into and that we make a reality for folks living in the neighborhood.
But to some, these proposals just aren't enough.
It's a stopgap, but no, it's not an acceptable option. It's going to be a hardship for a lot of people. This Pick and Save really serves a significant community.
All community members want is food on the table.
Let's keep the existing grocery store up and running until we can get a new one, rather than have to do these other measures.
The city has yet to select a developer for a new grocery store in the area, which could further delay any construction. I'm Chris Lewinberg, News 3 Now.
Community members will be discussing the food desert in just a few minutes at 6:30 at St. Mark's Lutheran Church.
Rain is on the way.
And Gary's talking our flood risks next in our first alert forecast. Just a reminder, tomorrow is known as Pie Day, or 314, and that means it's also time for our annual pie eating contest at Hubbard Avenue Diner in Middleton. You can see News 3 Now employees compete tomorrow during our 6 a.m. hour.
Well, we've talked about the flooding concerns. We know there's rain in the forecast. Gary joins us to map it all out for us.
Well, the big problem is going to be the showers and a few thunderstorms that could be mixed in with the snow melt. And we have alert days in the forecast for tonight and for tomorrow for rain showers and isolated thunderstorms. The rainfall amounts probably around a ½ inch of rain. Normally, that's not a big concern when it comes to flooding, but with the snow melt that's going to continue overnight and through the day tomorrow, and even continued last night because temperatures stayed above freezing, that's going to add a lot of water area, rivers and streams, and especially roads that are prone to flooding and ones that have their sewers kind of blocked by ice and snow. That could lead to some localized flooding problems. We're seeing a band of showers moving through the western portion of our viewing area. Right now, everything kind of lifting off toward the north. We're waiting to see if some thunderstorms may start developing over parts of Iowa as the atmosphere becomes quite unstable to our south. In fact, tomorrow, there's actually a severe weather threat as far north as southern Michigan, a slight risk of severe thunderstorms about as far north as Lansing, Michigan. But across this area, we're kind of in between things. The severe weather threat to our south and east, a winter storm to our north and west. Usually when you see big temperature changes like that, there's a lot of wind, and a wind advisory is in effect for tomorrow for pretty much, or first a flood watch for all of Wisconsin because of the potential for flooding. You can see about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain, but again, with that melting snow, that just continues to add to the water. Now, there is a wind advisory also for southeastern Wisconsin, areas south and east of Dane County, as well as parts of Iowa and Illinois. We could see winds in those areas gust to about 45 miles per hour. Temperatures range from around freezing in Fargo, North Dakota, where a winter storm is raging, to the 50s just to our south. In fact, blizzard warnings are in effect for parts of western Minnesota and eastern North Dakota. Live view for the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. They're getting some rain there, but also looks like a little break in the clouds. The WISC Skycam showing mostly cloudy skies, and the Edgewater Skycam will show mostly cloudy skies as well near the capital. Our almanac for today shows our low temperature this morning stayed above freezing. We're at 37 degrees. Our high temperature, the current reading of 47. Winds right now out of the south-southeast at 11 miles per hour, so it's going to stay mild overnight. So again, a flood watch in effect for all of southern Wisconsin through 7 a.m. Friday morning. A wind advisory from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. tomorrow for areas south and east of Dane County. Look for a low temperature of about 45 this evening. That temperature is rising to around 50 by tomorrow morning with showers, maybe a thunderstorm overnight, and some shower and thunderstorm chances tomorrow. High temperature at 59 before a cold front moves on through. On future track, notice the rain lifting to the north, but we see shower, thunderstorm chances with some breaks in between. Then as the cold air starts to work its way through, the showers could mix with a few flakes of snow before ending on Friday. Friday, temperatures will only stay in the 30s. Rainfall amounts about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little more in a few spots. Good news for next week, no major storms. Temperatures start out a little cool, but warm up toward the end of the week.
It's an important job interview for a lot of former Badger football players today. It's Pro Day, and we'll have the story coming up in sports. It's Pro Day on the UW campus. All 32 NFL teams are represented as 15 former Badgers and Nate Truin from UW Whitewater try to get a job in the league next year. Melissa Kim shows us what happened at the McLean Center today.
Well, TJ Edwards, Bo Benchel, Michael Dieter, and David Edwards all spent time together training both physically and mentally in California before one of the biggest moments of their careers. And needless to say, as we learned today, it brought a certain level of camaraderie.
So there's a steakhouse called Mastro's that we hit up plenty times.
I don't know if you guys know Dave very well, but he's all into that, you know, like fancy meal, like nice glass of wine.
They have a butter cake. And it is unbelievable.
Like he and I lived with him. I've never seen anything like that from a guy like that young anyway.
We had one time they had like a special. It's usually vanilla, but this time it was chocolate. And it was like, oh my, it was awesome.
But butter cake and burgers aside, these four, along with 9 other Badgers, are at the brink of seeing years of hard work pay off.
My mom's like, you know, she just thought it was kind of surreal watching me on NFL Network. And I mean, just because we remembered, like, that's what I used to do. I used to watch the Combine growing up.
Probably one of the weirder feelings was going to the Combine and like, after watching it for all those years and finally being there, it was definitely a surreal feeling for sure.
I don't know when it will feel real. I mean, the workouts definitely feel real. You get tired and stuff like that, but just this opportunity, it's insane. Definitely thankful to even be out here doing this.
Now, a few of the guys like TJ and Bo told us they remember watching Pro Day as freshmen and thinking, so far off, so far away. But now that it's done and over with, it's truly a dream come true. At the McLean Center, Melissa Kim, News 3 Now Sports.
Big NFL news late last night. Running back Le'Veon Bell finally has a new home after sitting out last season as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Bell is now with the New York Jets. He signed a new deal, 4 years, $52.5 million. The Big Ten men's basketball tournament has begun at United Center in Chicago. Nebraska and Rutgers started the opening game about 45 minutes ago. The winner of that game plays Maryland tomorrow at 2. The winner of that game plays Wisconsin Friday at 2. Badgers want to stay under control in the tournament.
Don't change who you are. You don't let the atmosphere or the bright lights and the attention and those things change and get you away from what has made you for a good team for the previous 30-some games.
Obviously, it's good to peak around this time and play well at this time, but just continue to do what we have been doing, and which is given us success. And I think that has attributed to winning games and winning down the stretch and winning the games that we need to win.
And the Brewers play the Cleveland Indians in Goodyear, Arizona. Looking at the Brewers' future, Keston Hiura is their first-round draft pick 2 years ago. He's going to be their second baseman someday. 3-run homer off Trevor Bauer. That's Hiura's third homer of the spring. Chase Anderson hit pretty hard. Indians beat the Brewers 9-3.
All right, you got a lot of basketball this weekend, right?
Busy
weekend ahead. All right, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.